Okay, that's mute. Right. Okay, so what I've noticed on SBS News this week, where's the camera? Up there. So what I've noticed on SBS News this week is the average retirement age in Australia. They reckon people are going from 62. They're now, the average age people want to retire was 62. They reckon people are now talking about retiring at 66, so they're like a year off getting the pension because of the cost of living crisis, which it really depends. You know, if you listen to news, who are they talking to? You know, are they talking to the 22-year-old RMIT student on Swanston Street? Or are they talking to the people at Flinders Street Station? And I couldn't get the actual article to come up, so I can't tell you. Next thing that's dominating the news is freedom of speech. There's no shortage of videos out there. And Karl Stefanovic, he started YouTube in 20-something of January this year, and at the ripe old age of 51 going on 52, he's managed to lose his job. I had the same problem in 2008. I was driving trains for a Japanese employer in Western Australia. I had 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, FIFO mining jobs. And the employer decided to terminate my employment because I was putting onto Facebook that on my 2 weeks off, I was sweeping grain silos and working in grain silos. Didn't mention the employer, didn't defame the employer. Karl Stefanovic didn't mention Channel 9. So I got terminated from a 100K job purely because I had mentioned on Facebook what I do on my days off. And that is freedom of speech. In this country, we don't have any laws that actually protect us. We have a Greens party that controls Greens control Parliament at the moment, right? So we got One Nation at the moment trying to become a political party, although I don't think One Nation will become a political party. I'll just turn chat on over here so I can see if you guys are talking. I had no idea. Somewhere over here. Chat. I don't know. I'll get my phone out. So people, if you can hear me, good. If you can't hear me, okay. All right, I think everything's working. One Nation. Are you going to vote for One Nation in the next state election? Did anybody vote for One Nation in South Australia? Because as far as I can tell, in South Australia and Tasmania, One Nation did not do any good at all. They got 1 or 2 seats. Tassie, I don't think they got anything. And yet the News Poll says Pauline Hanson's going to be the next Prime Minister. We haven't had a senator become Prime Minister since Harold Holt Gough Whitman kind of days, the 1970s. And even then it had to get swung around and changed around. That was back when we had 20% interest rates as well. If you're going to vote in the November election, are you going to vote Labor? Are you going to vote Liberal? Are you going to be crazy and vote the West Party? Because we've got this West Party out here in Victoria. That's what I'm curious about at the moment. The next thing I'm curious about is why the Green Party actually closed down all the power stations and put my gas prices up, because my gas prices went back up against this weekend. Okay, Google, what's the temperature in Melbourne?
It's currently 12 degrees and sunny in Melbourne.
There you go. It's 12 degrees and freezing. And I don't have the heater on because our last heater bill last winter was $1,600 for 8 weeks. So I'm not turning the heater on. It costs more than the rent. And according to that, it's going to get to 3 degrees tonight where I live, so it's going to be even colder. Now, what else did I write down that I was going to talk to? Don't mind the phone. I am not used to live feeding here. So retirement. What age are you thinking you're actually retiring? And you don't have to comment on this. You can just think about this all you want. I want to retire at 60. There's no shortage on that. I don't want a mortgage. And I'm going to make that clear. And I do not want to vote Green. I joined the Green Party when I was 18. It was the worst thing I ever did. You're 73. Hello. My uncle just turned 80 And my other uncle, who would have been 73, died when he was 42. I'm glad you made it. And I'm not used to live, okay? So forgive me if I look like a baboon puppet at a Moomba festival. With retirement, my wife gave me her end of life plan this week, and I'm looking at my retirement plan. We've got two different thinkings going on in this house at the moment. Do I want to buy a house? I want to own land. I got told 3 weeks ago on this channel in a comment by somebody who owns properties that renters are too stupid to grow vegetables, that renting people have no means to grow fruit and veg in their backyard. We probably don't have much means to grow fruit, I agree with that. But I've got potatoes, I've got carrots, I've got beetroot, all growing in my backyard. I've got a fly going around over here. I have always grown vegetables, when we've owned homes, when we've rented homes. I grow them in pots, giant veggie pots they're called. They've got big white coverings over the top. It's an Australian company that brings this stuff in from China, as they all do. I always grow veggies. If we've got a roast on tomorrow night, we get our meat, as I said the other day on a video, from Farmer's Pick and from the butchers. We don't buy from Coles or Woolworths. It's too expensive. And if you want to know why I stopped buying from Coles, when I left the Air Force, I got a job with the Australian Quarantine Service working in Palmyra, just near Fremantle, right next to where Bon Scott's buried. And I'm talking about Bon Scott on Monday or Tuesday. And Coles would store their meat for export to the Middle East, mainly in Fremantle. If the meat got to 2 years of age, they would cancel the export order and put the meat back into Coles domestic. So all the meat that we were buying in Perth, this is 2004, was 2-year-old meat. It wasn't actually new meat. All the fresh meat in this country is exported. All the old meat is given to you and me. So I stopped buying from Coles and Woolworths when I found out that we're just getting cheap, rejected meat all the time. And I buy from the butcher, and the butcher can tell me when and where. And, if it's got 686 stamped on it, it's come from Wamco. If it's got 702, it's V&V Walsh. The stamps on the meat tell you if it's produced here, if we've imported it. And if your meat hasn't got a stamp on it, I wouldn't buy it. What else can we talk about? I want to talk about Karl Stefanovic because really, it's just stupid. We can't talk online, in the pub, or in the workplace about anything to do with Australia, really. We can't express our opinions. If we do, we're out the door. All right, Karl interviews some interesting people, but he never mentions Channel 9, does he? I talk to you. I don't mention, anybody, really. I worked FIFO for a whole of 6 months. Couldn't keep my FIFO job because the Japanese don't like you having Facebook. Okay, that was 2008. What else can I chat on you right now? Oh, winter. Don't get me started on winter. It's cold. We don't use heating. We've got, as I said before, gas bills going everywhere. If you are in Melbourne and you're at the football, go home, because I was trying to watch the football 5 minutes ago and Carlton is just full shit at the moment. I don't know what else to tell you about before I start to waffle, so let's see what's in the comments over here. I can't find comments. They would be here somewhere. Here we go. Here we go. I turned the comments on. Thank God for that. Right, game over. That's pretty much what somebody said to me. Come here. Can you guess how old I am? Yeah, I guessed that already. What country do you live in? Well, Melbourne, Australia. What country do I want to live in? Probably New Zealand. Hi. I think you look nice. That's good because right now. I haven't had a shave in a week, and this is my first day off in 2 weeks. We tend to work 12 days on, 1 day off. So I'm spending my 1 day off here. Was going to go to the zoo and make this at the zoo, but it's the first day of school holidays. And there's 10,000 people in there. So I'm not going to go. The zoo's only around the corner, so I was going to go talk to the dinosaurs, but that is not happening. And at least I know how to work chat now. And there's no football to watch. So Saturday's a good day. What I am going to try and do with live chats in the future, if I'm working, hello Ruby, or not Ruby, if I'm going to do live chats in the future, I want to actually do them walking around somewhere. So walking around a zoo or in the city. You know, I went and saw Bon Scott last night. If you saw that on the news, Bon Scott's got he's 80, I think, this year. And he died when he was 30 odd. So somebody's got a new mural up in AC/DC Lane. AC/DC Lane is synonymous to two things, really. Bon Scott and firebombing, because it's been firebombed 3 times in the last month in this, crime crisis that we don't seem to have in Melbourne. So I want to do live chats while I'm walking around the city, and then I can talk to you about things that are going on around me, and I feel more comfortable doing live, walking around with my vlogging camera in front of me, and I watching out for people trying to steal my camera off me. What else are you guys saying? You got to help me out here, because I've got now lost where the chat's gone to. Hey, there it is. Ruby lives in Australia. Where do you live in Australia? Tell me you live in Melbourne. And if you live in Queensland, send me some heat. I am going to Hobart in 2 or 3 weeks' time to chase snow. New South Wales. You're warmer up there. I was in Sydney Anzac Day. I go to Sydney for Anzac Day. I don't go to Melbourne. I don't know why. I got more military friends up there. And I got contacted from a guy that I actually last saw him on my honeymoon in 2001, but we were in the military together in the 90s. And he contacted me the other day and said he's in his 60s now. And he's in Thailand on his second or third girlfriend. I've never been to Thailand. I've been to Singapore, and I've been to Bali, I've been to Lombok, I've been to Florence in Indonesia and Komodo and all those. It's too hot. It's too humid. I know I'm whinging about the cold here, but Asia's too humid for me. I'm Dutch, Irish, Victorian, I could retire in Dunedin or Christchurch, but and we stopped looking at churches this week. Wife's gone back and started looking at building in barns. I built a barn in 2008. It was a shed barn. And it cost me $100,000 and it sent me bankrupt, and it just did not work being an owner builder. So I don't know if I want to be an owner builder in retirement. And I don't like the fact that SBS reckon nobody's retiring in Melbourne until they turn 66, so that's even worse. But I'm nearly at my 15-minute mark, and Ruby's freezing, and I'm running out of things to say, so I don't want to dribble. But for my first attempt at a live view, we'll work on it. All right, people, I will talk to you again on Monday, and I'll do a live view again next week, and hopefully, you can let me know in the comments too, if you're watching this after I save this, what time is better for the live view. I've got no idea. I'm not getting up before midday, so I'm not doing live views in the morning, but I'm quite happy to do them late at night as well. All right. Ciao, people. I will talk to you next week. Bye.